Welcome to One of a Kind podcast. Slay that stage, your backstage pass to the minds of world champions of public speaking.
Discover the stories, the strategies, and the skills of world-class speakers and get ready to transcend your fear of public speaking and slay every stage life presents to you.
Hello and welcome to our launchpad of our podcast, Slay That Stage. It's an absolute pleasure to introduce my co-host Tanvi Bhatt, who has been a keynote speaker. Let me rephrase that. International keynote speaker for 11 years, 3 times TED Talk speaker, pioneer of personal branding in India. Last but not least, she's also a speaking coach to CEOs, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. Tanvi, welcome to our show. Well, you're a co-host, so
Yes, but no, I extend the same welcome to you. Welcome to our very first formal screening of Slay That State podcast. While this is a launch pad, it gives me immense pleasure to formally introduce you to everyone as well, like you've done for me. So, guys, meet Aisha. She is an award winning speaker who's absolutely passionate about bringing untold stories to life on every stage that you speak on. She's passionate about uplifting the audience and bringing in a diverse perspective that makes them think, I should have considered that as well. Talk about aha moments, right, Aisha? She's, of course, a speaking coach as well, and she loves to help you own your stories and bring them to life, regardless of it being on a stage delivering a keynote or in your boardroom delivering high impact presentations. So, Asha, as a corporate leader, as a woman leader in the corporate with over 20 plus years of experience in finance and IT, you're some sort of an automation geek, right? So, the transition between career 1.0 as a finance professional to a speaking coach is a story that I'm sure everyone is very curious to hear because we usually seen that not a lot of our finance leaders at least are savvy speakers also. So I'm sure in this journey of putting this podcast together every fortnight, we would love to understand what inspired you to deep dive into the world of speaking, not only just to share your story but help others do the same.
thank you, Tanvi. Um,
Great. So the launch pad, right, Aisha? We've been speaking about this for a couple of months now, and it gives me so much joy and pleasure and gratitude, more importantly, for you for showing up in my life one fine day and just connecting and vibing with me at such a beautiful spiritual level that we ultimately decided to birth this beautiful podcast because we both are so passionate about, of course, the art of public speaking, right? So, as Asha said, guys, I've been a speaker for around 11 years now, constantly learning and honing my own art of stagecraft and speaking mastery. But last year, something unusual happened. I finally decided to develop a skill set which I felt was lacking in me as a speaker. And during that journey is where I got the fortunate serendipity of bumping into Aisha as one of my fellow learners with me. And as the beautiful friendship blossomed between us, we decided that we would love to bring some programs to life, bring some IP to life, and that is being presented to you all today in the form of this first collaboration between Aisha and myself as this podcast Slay That Stage. So Slay That Stage has come to life because me and Aisha, we both are absolutely passionate about the art of public speaking and, of course, understanding and mastering the business of speaking as well as professional speakers that we are. So, the season one of Stay That Stage podcast is going to actually focus on the art of public speaking because once you've mastered the art, only then you can start thinking and talking and acting upon the business of speaking. Right, Aisha? So let's discuss a little more about the season one, which is going to be called the Champions Tour.
Thank you, Tanvi. I couldn't have said it better. Champions Tour. Now you're wondering what Champions Tour is. And as Tanvi said, It's about learning about art of public speaking. Then who better to learn it from the best of the best? Public speaking, in sports term, if you take it, the Champions Tour is bringing you the gold medalist of Olympics of public speaking. Now you're wondering, where is this all contest happening and this competitions and how am I deriving Olympics of public speaking? Well, if you're aware or if you're not aware, go research and type Toastmasters International. Every year, almost 30,000 people from almost 150 countries compete to win that title of World Champion of Public Speaking. And we are bringing you that World Champion to you, to your very own screen. Don't even have to step out. You get to learn from the best, from their experience, what helped them, how did they deal with their failure, what took their speech to next level. And you will learn that at your own convenience. Since it's a recorded, watch it at your time. Tanvi, do you want to add to that?
Yes, I think the way we look at this podcast, friends, is that it's an all access backstage pass to the minds, the stories, the lives of these amazing world champions of public speaking, right? Because during the course of this conversation with them, we are going to deep dive into not only their story of becoming a speaker, of crafting the winning speech, of winning the title of world champion of public speaking, but the strategies and skills that they practice and employ day after day to become the world class speaker that they are today, right? Because only when you learn from the absolute best in business can you elevate yourself into a speaker who's truly worth his or her salt. And then you are absolutely ready to slay every stage that life is going to present to you.
Yes, totally. And I would just like to add to that is that you have to be not have a perfect story to get to stage. It's how you tell it, and that is what you'd be learning it. No matter what your story is, how small, how big, you will learn here how to bring it to stage that not only connects with the audience, but also is impactful and gives them a reason to call you back to slaying that stage.
Thank you for talking about stories, Aisha, because I think storytelling is such a non negotiable skill in the arsenal of a speaker. Now, whether you are a professional speaker, keynote speaker, you're a CEO, you're a leader, you're an entrepreneur, speaking is non negotiable if you really are serious about inspiring your tribe, if you want to drive influence on them, and if you want to truly impact them with your message, your story, and of course, the wisdom that you have accumulated in your journey of being there doing that. So, storytelling becomes a non negotiable skill for all of us today. And in fact, that is a very skill that I chose to learn and master in the last year, as I was hinting on that a couple of minutes ago. So, telling stories is a critical skill that we all have to learn as speakers. And you will see how each of these speakers are powerful and master storytellers. And you will see what kind of skills are required by leaders and thought leaders alike. It doesn't matter if you are a CEO or a senior leader or a mid management level leader or even a fresh young B school graduate who's stepping out into the corporate world, or you're an entrepreneur running your own business, you must absolutely know the power of telling stories, speaking your soul, and going and gracing and owning every stage that you choose to get on. Asha, what do you think about that? Yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience of gracing the stage for the very first time and how that changed your life.
Well, I actually fell into it. My friend said, "Hey, we are starting a Toastmasters club and we need some members. Would you join?" And I said, "Sure, I'm not doing anything. Why not?" And I happened to meet really wonderful mentors there. So I was visiting the club as guest twice, and by third meeting I had joined because of the whole community, the camaraderie, and the mentorship that I received. I didn't realize I was a speaker and how speaking and sharing my story could make a difference. After delivering, I think, about my second speech, I received a feedback saying you should compete in international contest. And I was
Hmm.
like, I'm just here for fun and I'm only helping a friend. But that feedback really made me think and go back and having the mentors, and this really was at no cost, and telling me that I had that potential and realizing what my voice can do and how I can make a difference. Because when I started sharing my stories, I started receiving feedback as, oh my God, I needed to hear this. Or I was having a tough day. Thank you for sharing this. Or you've changed the perspective of how I'm thinking or how I deal with my failures. And those messages sparked something in me. And I realized that this is something I want to do. This is where my soul is. And when I started speaking, being very new, had absolutely no training, just going with the flow, I started getting mentorship. Coached with some of the world champions. And I realized how coaching took my speaking from this level to that. And don't get me wrong, at here also I thought I was awesome. But after coaching with the world champions and my mentors at the club, I realized that it is an art. It is not just something you take a story and just throw it on the stage. And that art has to be honed, developed, and can be coached. If you're
Absolutely.
not a speaker, you don't have to think that, oh my God, I'm not a born speaker. I don't think most people are born speakers. It's an art that you develop, you learn, you craft. It's very much coachable. So my only advice and would be to the audience would be, doesn't matter what level you are, you need a coach, you need a mentor, because what got you here will not get you there, as our coach Craig says. So
Absolutely.
depending
And I
on what
couldn't agree
you
more.
are.
I couldn't agree more on what you said, Aisha, because I think it's so important that all of us are humble enough to even accept that, okay, we need a coach, we need a mentor who brings out the best latent, dormant speaker resting within our soul, right? Because speaking is all about bearing your soul in the most poetic sense, is how I see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
totally.
So, even if I have been a professional speaker for 11 years now, a passionate student of public speaking for 21 years now, the moment I decided that I want to enroll for the coaching curriculum last year and elevate myself as a speaker, in spite of me being someone who was absolutely confident and proud of my skills as a speaker, the day one of the coaching program with my mentor really made me realize, Tanvi, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And that began a completely new journey of opening up to learning the skill sets of storytelling. And it really made me not just a better human being, but of course, a much more impactful speaker. And of course, thanks to our mentor for that. But the moral of the story is, guys, you don't know what you don't know. Only when you tune in and you listen to all these amazing champions bare their soul, where they are selflessly sharing their story, their strategies, their skills, their tips, their insights, their wisdom, their perspectives on becoming master speakers. That's when you realize I don't even know what I don't know. And I need to really focus on being in the company of people who know their stuff, who mean business, who've graced some of the most fantastic, prestigious stages of the world to tell their stories as speakers and transform lives. Right. And Aisha, that is the purpose of putting this podcast together where we get to learn from the best in business, Aisha, that is an aspiration that we both had, and bring the same wealth of knowledge and wisdom to our communities as well. Correct?
Totally, totally. So I would just like to add that whether you are a beginner speaker or an experienced or not even a speaker
Yeah.
and have had thought about it like I did growing up practicing in front of a mirror, it's this podcast is for everyone, non-speaker, beginner speaker, experienced speaker, because there will be something for at each level, because we are talking to the champions, best of the best. So
Brilliant.
please tune in.
Yes. And with that, we officially are excited to launch the podcast, Slay That Stage, with your hosts, Aisha and myself. And we can't wait to take you on this journey of elevating yourself as a speaker and getting inspired from the very best in business. So, tune in for our very first episode, which obviously is going to see our mentor, Craig Valentine, join us as we deep dive into the art of public speaking with him.
Till next time.
Bye, guys. See you all on the other side.